What is going on, everybody? How are you? Put in the chat what you drinking, what you doing, where you're at. Love to know. We got an exciting live stream for you tonight. I know it's been a while. I know it has been a while, and I know that I always say I'm going to do more of these. I promise. Just bank on that. I probably won't. This is a pretty special one though. We're going to have the fellas from Only Bourbon Fans joining me tonight. And we are going to do a pick. We are going to taste off between our two picks. So you have, we're tasting off a Dad's Hat. Ugh, my arm really hurts because I got the tetanus shot yesterday. Holy crap. Whew, that thing stings. Still stings. So we're going to be tasting off a little Dad's Hat action to see who has the best pick. Is it Club Marzipan, which is me, or is it Only Bourbon Fans? Which when these guys get on here, we got to find out like why they call themselves Only Bourbon Fans. Like, do they have a secret like account, like a little secret OnlyFans account where they're selling feet pics? Kind of want to know. Anyway, we got Philip Bosch in the house. What's up, Philip? Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're well. How is Kansas City? Everything all right over there? Got Mikey Likey sipping on a little Wild Turkey 8-year 101. That's nice. Got Big Whiskey. Big Whiskey. Now, he is, his real name is Matt Gore. But Matt Gore, you can find him on the Instagrams at Big Whiskey. So, Zach Schneider, how's it going, buddy? Looks like you might be laughing at my little joke on the guys. It's kind of funny. Don Prince in the house. Good to see you, Don. Kevin Aldos. I hope I said that right, Kevin. Having a little Russell's Reserve 15-year-old. Very nice. A little stormy, rainy in the Kansas City. You know what? That's been going around. JB Red. Nice to see you, JB. You got Texas Whiskey Geek in the house as well. First one to comment, actually. So let's give a little love to Texas Whiskey Geek. Ooh, Philip is having the Jefferson Cask Strength. So Jefferson's Cask Strength just came out. A guy, Kevin Gibson, who writes for me, tasted it and said, it's like, dude, this is the best thing I've had like all year. So keep your eyes out for that. Philip's got a great palate, so if Philip likes it, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be going good. Oak and Agave in the house. Nice to see you, Oak and Agave. Now, if my memory serves, Oak and Agave is a bar, restaurant. Put in the chat exactly what Oak and Agave is. I think, if I recall, it's a restaurant. And by the way, great name. No matter what. Zach is having a little bit of Driftless Glen. A little Wisconsin action right there. Driftless Glen, some tasty stuff. Can't go wrong with that. Cannot go wrong with that. Philip is saying that that Jefferson's Cask Strength is top 10 for him. Now, Oak and Agave is having a little short barrel Sasquatch right now. Let's go. Don Prince is having some Club Marzipan OKI pick. Now, that is the very first pick of Club Marzipan. So that is awesome that you have that still. Okay, all right. So I obviously owe Oak and Agave an apology. It's a YouTube channel. Everyone go to Oak and Agave and subscribe. I screwed up and said it was a restaurant. I stand by that. It's a great name, and I think it'd be a great name for a restaurant. So Oak and Agave, you know, get a little chips and salsa going, a little margarita action, maybe a little bourbon to finish off with some, some nice sweet sopapillas or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking. And just further add to what Oak and Agave does, they do bourbon and tequila reviews about all sorts of crazy stuff. Definitely a lot of crazy stuff's going on right now. Now, JB Red says, brace yourselves. I'm sipping on some Evan Williams Black and ginger ale. Look, there is nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of with sipping on Evan Williams Black and ginger ale. That's a great combo. Absolutely knock that out of the park. That's good stuff right there. When I set up the stream tonight, I was like, oh no, Mash and Drama has a live stream going too. I'm like, dadgummit. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at getting cross streams. So if any of you all need to go and check out Mash and Drum, make sure he's, I don't want Jason missing out on viewers because we're doing this. Now, one thing I'll be talking about this a lot tonight. You will notice that this is actually a fundraiser. So you'll see in the upper right hand corner of the chat, you will see it says fundraiser. There is a mechanism that YouTube has allowed me to use that you all can donate money to this particular group. It's a fundraiser through my YouTube channel, and this group is called Forgotten But Not Gone, and they are a charity in Las Vegas that helps prevent veteran suicide by getting people active and out riding bikes and going into mountains and taking hikes and just doing fun, normal life stuff. So basically getting them out of the funk of thinking about combat and more into the physical nature of life. And they were my charity partner for my big game bourbon event in Las Vegas a couple years ago. And I just learned that they lost their funding. So it's happening everywhere. A lot of people are losing their funding, and people are not donating to them. So they're having to close their doors here pretty soon. So I wanted to, do what I could to raise a little money for them tonight. So if you all could, donate $1, $2, whatever it is, it goes straight to them. Like, it doesn't come into me and I have to write them a check or anything like that. It goes straight to them. So I really appreciate you all considering that. Zach says, Zach Snyder writes on the chat, read your book twice. Love it. Are you ever going to do another? As a matter of fact, Zach, I just finished a book called Bottom Shelf. It's basically a memoir of sorts where I talk about finding my favorite bourbon ever and kind of how it influenced my life. But yeah, that'll be out February of next year. And the publisher is an imprint of Penguin called Source Books. And my editor I worked with was the same editor that edited Radium Girls, which you can find now on Netflix. So very excited about this. But thank you for the kind words there, Zach. I really appreciate that. All right. So get your predictions in. Think about it, like which one is going to win tonight. Philip says, I haven't tried too much of this year, but I bet it finishes strong in the rankings. No Will Breeden prediction, though. Not that talented. Will Breeden, of course, is a fantastic Club Marzipan member with a wonderful palate. He's also really good at predicting my palate. Like, he'll see like a flight. He's been following me long enough to know how I taste. So, hey, look who's here. We got David in the house. Good to see you, David. Hope you're doing well. Robert says, joining after putting away my Found North 18 year and 291. Just picked up Gypsy. All right, Robert, I love it. Now, you seem to like, seems like you like the more funkier kind of styles. You're not a traditional bourbon drinker. I like to see that. So put in the chat, Robert, like, what are your 3 most favorite flavors? Because you've got 3 different styles right there. I am finding fascinating. And Okanagave says, well, that means Okanagave rolls a little bit, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I did. I went to class today. I also have been wrestling, so I've been wrestling with some the D1 school out here, Bellarmine. And last night I wrestled, and I mean I went a solid hour of trying to take down the 197 pounder, And it just, I mean, I was like, every bone in my body hurt this morning. So I don't know why I went to class, but I went to class and I was awful. I mean, it was like I could barely move. My instructor was like, he's like, damn, Fred, you're not doing anything. Like, you're not doing anything we learned in class today. I was like, yeah, I know. I can barely move. I can barely move. Kind of funny, actually. And Okinagabe says Eric Church is their favorite all-time entertainer. By the way, I'd love to know who your favorite interview was of the last few interviews I've done. This has been a pretty remarkable year for me in terms of interviewing celebrities, and got a lot of really incredible pickup. Like, if you look at the Eric Church interview, I did not know how much Eric Church opened up in that interview until afterward. His fans were like, oh my God, he's never talked about this. And then all the news stations started picking it up, and then all the radio stations started picking it up. I guess that's just the whiskey talking. You know what I mean? You get a little whiskey in someone and they start opening up a little bit. Put in the chat, I'd love to know who your favorite interview of mine has been. I've had a lot over the years. Peyton Manning, Jelly Roll, Charles Woodson, Yellow Wolf. Yellow Wolf is my most viewed and most listened to person that I've ever interviewed. Like, all my stuff with him is like well over like a couple million. Second would be Clown from Slipknot. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okinagabe. So, again, joining me tonight is going to be the Only Bourbon Fans. And I'm curious to know, if you hear Only Bourbon Fans and you just automatically assume that they're like doing, showing feet pics or something on OnlyFans, because that was the first thing that I thought when these guys started coming around. But turns out they're all wrestlers. And so I was like, you want to get close to me in a hurry, just say something about jiu-jitsu or wrestling, and we'll just talk and hang out and sip some whiskey. That's my world right there. And they're going to be coming on here in a minute. But I would like to know, if you haven't told me already, put in the chat what you're sipping on tonight. Because I'm clearly going to be sipping on some Dad's Hat, because we got this taste off here. In fact, I should probably get these things poured, I like having them out a little bit. So my right arm is hard to move right now. I can barely move my right arm, so I don't know why I'm pouring with my right arm. And here are mine right here. So to the question of like who was their favorite interview, Zach puts in the chat Jared Allen. Of course, Jared Allen is now going to be in the National Football Hall of Fame, and I'm so happy for him. I'm so proud of him. And get this, I'm super pumped to be doing a tasting for Jared Allen at his celebration party. And he's like, hey, man, I don't want you to do anything crazy or special for me. I was like, dude, I'm proud of you. You're my friend. Let me bring some good whiskey, and let's have an awesome time. Hey, I gotta point out something. So any wrestling fans in the house, any Oklahoma State fans in the house, go Pokes. We got the low single in here. His nickname is T-Bone. It's what his uncle called him. I listen to his podcast all the time, but he does an incredible job covering the Oklahoma State Cowboys wrestling team. And as you can see behind me, I got some headgear from Oklahoma State. And on the other side, it's signed by one of my favorite all-time Cowboys, Dustin Plott. So big shout out to the low single being in the chat tonight. Really good to see you, my friend. Really good to see you. Okay, let's see here. David says favorite interview was Peyton Manning. Yellow Wolf was a close second, and he's sipping on a little Jack Daniels 10-year-old. That's pretty. Jack 10-year-old batch 4 in the glass. All right, I read that all backwards, David. That sounds awesome, man. That sounds like a good sipping right there. Looks like Robert is having some Weller Antique. Gotta love that. Weller Antique is a little easier to come by these days. Biking and bourbon. Now that is a handle I haven't seen in a while. Ah man, I miss seeing biking bourbon in my chat. And to be honest with you, I legit miss doing live streams. I'm just not very good at being consistent with them, and so that's that's on me. I mean, of course, it's on me. But yeah, absolutely low single, or shall I say T-Bone? Good to see you in here. Good to see you. All right, we've got. Looks like we got our first person in here. Now, this is going to take a little minute here. We are going to be dropping folks in. Everyone's going to be coming in the chat. Everyone in the chat. The Only Bourbon Fan guys are starting to join. They're starting to pop in. They're in the green room. So get your weird questions ready for them. We have all kinds of concerns about the OnlyFans thing. The rumor is that they do sell feet pics on OnlyFans, but curious where the bourbon side of things came from. All right, we got another one joining us here. This is Zach. I'll be adding them here as we get the whole house. Once you all, all right, so I'm gonna, there we go. We got another one. Albert's the last one to join. How do you like that? All right, I'm starting to add him now. Albert, how's it going?
Hey there.
Yeah. All right, so we got, who else we got coming in here? All right. And there we go. All right, let's see how that looks. I think we need one. We got one more coming.
Yeah, he's just getting home from a baseball game.
Okay.
Don't ask him how it
I'm
went.
here.
Oh, he's here. I can't see.
You can't see?
I can't see who else is in yet. So.
All right. Okay. So we got a full house now.
This is how the Only Bourbon Fans roll.
I like it. So let's talk a little bit about y'all's rise to fandom, and whether or not what you all do on OnlyFans, or do you do anything on OnlyFans?
If you go on Instagram,
We can't disclose that.
If you go on Instagram, you can see Vinny. There is a video where he took his shirt off.
Okay. And you all are all wrestlers, right? Not everyone? Who's the wrestler?
Nah.
All but Zach.
All but Zach. Okay. Zach, what was your sport?
In the winter, just recreational basketball.
Oh, a basketball guy. That's a sworn enemy of wrestling.
Recreational, though.
Okay. That sounds like you're going to hurt your Achilles, man. Make sure you're stretching before all that stuff. So, all right. So let's I'll kind of tell you a little bit about how we're going to do tonight. So first of all, we got tonight's a bit of a fundraiser. We are people in the chat. You can see there's something for the Forgotten Not Gone charity, and if you guys can donate something to them, they're helping veterans who are trying to cope with the post-war life, and they have a lot of wellness opportunities for them, and they've lost their funding, and they're trying to raise some funds right now. So that's it may not be much, but let's do what we can for them.
Wonderful.
So how did you all get in bourbon?
Zach, you want to go?
Yeah. I think this really kicked off from a bachelor party. And that just kind of, I think that describes us in the way we are. We went for Albert. Albert's my brother-in-law, and I was his best man at his wedding, and I set up the whole first trip to the Bourbon Trail. And I think, that tour and tasting that we had was just really eye opening to what whiskey actually is,
Yeah,
and it was life changing for us.
absolutely.
Literally.
And how long ago was that?
Like 2.5 years now, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you ever do any sister jokes on him?
Uh, every now and then, I can slip a few things in.
Yeah.
I can,
Hey,
yeah.
my mom is watching. Careful, guys.
Okay. Well,
Your mother-in-law, Zach.
So,
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
wait, is that your mother-in-law though? It's not his mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law, yeah.
So because it's your sister that married him.
My sister is married to Zach.
Your sister's married to Zach. Okay, I got it
Yep.
backwards then. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
We
all
get
right, Albert.
we get confused all the time too.
Well, hopefully it's not in the wrong moment. But how did you? Okay, so you all got into to bourbon a couple years ago. What made you all want to get into the world of Instagram and influencing and such?
I can answer this. Albert has a super addictive personality, and he brings everybody down with him.
Oh,
Or
So
up.
once we started talking whiskey with him, I think it just kind of turned into let's chat together outside of text messaging, because we'd been doing hunting and things like that, and learning with each other what different bottles were, because we are not like, we don't know everything. I mean, it's changed a lot now in the 2 years that we've been doing this or whatever. But we're like, let's start talking together live. And then it's like, all right, why not do a podcast? And why not start an Instagram account? Let's have some fun with it.
okay. And you all legit have fun with it. It's not. It seems like I've watched some of your lives before, and you all look like you guys are just dudes hanging out, having a good time.
That's what
that describes us perfectly.
But you got to explain Only Bourbon Fans. Like, how did that name came to be? Because everyone's going to associate that with you selling feet pics. For real. That's like, Halsey, is this you? Who came up with this?
Honestly, it was just, we threw a bunch of names out, and that was the one in the group chat that got the most laughs. And we just said, "Can we swear?"
Of
Whatever.
course.
We just said, "Let's go with it. Let's do it." And next day, we made an account.
All right. So, all right. Let's start tasting here. Let's start thinking about. Let's talk about the whiskey for a little bit. And also, I haven't heard from the other two guys here. You guys chime in here now. Like, tell me, like, what's this process been like? What have you enjoyed it? What's kind of your, you're getting into the bourbon influencing game here. You guys both have the registered beards, so it's important.
I can't see everybody, so this is a little challenging, but I'll jump in here. I remember our first Zoom, and we were talking about whiskey, and someone mentioned, we should start recording this and doing a podcast. And in the back of my mind, I remember thinking, no, we shouldn't. I'm pretty introverted by nature, but it's been awesome. It's fun to get together and just drink with friends every week and talk about something we're all passionate about. And then just the community that we get to meet along the way, distillery tours like Dad's had. It's been awesome.
Jamie McGee wants to know, what bottles did you try first in your journey?
So we were on a bullet tour in the bachelor party, which is I think the one that for me kicked it off. Was up until that point I was just drinking like general, like Knob Creek and Woodford. Had a bottle or two on my shelf, but when we went through a single barrel tasting at at Bullet, there was one that I was just like, wow, I didn't know that bourbon could even be like this, and that's what kicked it off from there for me at least.
Awesome. Is it Googs, right?
Yeah. How's it
Tell
going?
me about the name first of all.
My Googs itself.
Yeah. Is that a nickname or is that like your name?
Yeah, no. So my last name is Gugliotti, so it's kind of followed me through elementary school.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Hey Fred, there's one more of us. He's in the waiting room. He says
He is, huh?
he's the biggest clown of us all too.
Huh. I don't.
He's
see
the one that
anyone.
was showing his skin the most on.
I don't see
Instagram
anyone in the
page.
waiting room. What's his name?
I'm not surprised.
It's
Yeah,
Vinny.
he's kind of a degenerate.
Yeah, there's not anyone else in the waiting room.
All right. Well, I'll tell him to try again.
Yeah.
It's all right, Googs. He wanted you to talk about the Only Bourbon Fans name again.
I think you wanted to talk about my name.
Well, look. We're talking about your
No,
name. Only Bourbon Fans. What bourbon kind of sealed the deal for you? So I want to learn about that.
So for me, it was probably about, I think, 2020. I had moved up to New Hampshire, Vermont area from Pennsylvania for work, and I actually saw a Netflix special, and kind of was like, I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna try it. I've tried it before, nothing crazy. And I walked into a liquor store and I found, it sounded like a Tater, but a Blanton's. And I know somebody had mentioned about it, and I was like,
One of those guys.
let's try this.
Not judging you, but okay.
I was
great
new.
first find. Come on.
We've all been there. So
Actually that's a good point, Zach. That is a very good first find. Like if you walked into a store, what did you pay for the Blantons? You remember?
It was whatever MSRP. It was like $65.
Yeah, that's winning right there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all state-run stores in Vermont and New Hampshire, so you're not paying much more than that.
Okay.
And then I think my second bottle I bought just like maybe a week after was a bottle of Booker's, a 2020 Booker's, which I still have.
Wow.
I think it was it Pigskin, maybe? I think it might have been a Pigskin.
That's some good taste
and they
right there.
Yeah, they see, and that was pretty hot to start off with too. Now that I look back on it, but yeah, that's kind of what started me.
All right, here we go, Vinny.
Oh, boy.
All right, we can go, guys. Vinny's here. We're done.
Actually, it says the maximum. I have 4 connected, which is the maximum for Intel-based Macs. Oh, I've never done a 4 stream before, so sorry, Vinny.
It's only
I didn't know, man. I've used this software for years, and it's never told me I can't have more than 4 on here.
Never had 5 guys on at once.
No, yeah, I've never had 4 people on before. Actually, no, I take that back. I had a panel with E40 and like 3 or 4 other people, so that must be like a new software thing.
I think Heisey needs to jump over to Albert's house quick so they can get on the same camera.
We
We could make that happen. All right. Albert and I are the only two that are close together.
Okay.
But, I mean, I could jump out and let another ginger in.
So do you want to like let him in and then we you legit go to his house and then do that?
I mean, I'm cool with that, Albert. I don't know what your situation
if you want.
You could be there.
Cozy up on
You
the
could be.
couch.
You could be there in 5
I'll be
minutes,
there.
right?
Yeah, about 10 minutes probably. I'll be
Wait, how much have you been drinking?
I only had one, so I'll be all right. I'll
Nothing.
probably Uber home after his dad's had. Yeah.
No drinky.
Yeah.
No drinking and driving. So, well, what do you want to do here, Albert? Looks
Well,
like
first of all, this is true Only Bourbon Fans fashion.
is
Is
that how it goes?
all complicated every time. But in the end, we get to have a couple drinks, so it all works out.
So tell me about your experience at Dad's Hat.
So I will tell you, first of all, I am warming up with the. I don't know if you tried this. It was still in the barrel when we went, and you were there the day before us.
Oh, the Syrah
this
finish,
is the Syrah finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I found that this is like a great warm up for our single barrels. Um, so our
Awesome.
trip. So this all started on Twitter, actually.
Okay.
We started a Twitter handle like way after we had the Instagram handle, and somebody on there really likes local distilleries, smaller distilleries,
Right.
and just threw out the idea that we should try some Dad's Hat and give it maybe go to the distillery, do a tour with Herman. And Herman reached right out like within like minutes or hours and offered it. And three of us are within a couple of hours. So we all met there. Um, First of all, Herman is like an absolute wealth of bourbon
Yeah.
knowledge. Well, I shouldn't say bourbon, but rye, whiskey, knowledge, and history. The amount of stuff that he was throwing out at us, things that we never knew, as new to this as we are. But we went in there with absolutely no intentions of picking a barrel. He was going through, letting us sample a whole lot of different things, and I can't say that we're really into that spitting game. Maybe we're too new to this, but wasting whiskey isn't
Yeah,
our
I mean,
style.
if you do it for a living and you don't spit, you eventually like will pass out and die. So you got
Like
to.
if you sample 100 at once.
Yeah, you got to spit, or there's real health implications. I mean, there's health implications as there is right now. With just even tasting it. So not swallowing is the way to go. Vinny, good to see you here. I see you've got a Kale Nose shirt on.
I sure do.
I got a
I
little
named my
state
son
wrestling
after him.
action going on here. So were you what weight were you? Were you 184? What were you?
No,
Oh,
no.
You look
That made me
tall.
feel bad.
Yes.
He looks tall. That's all.
No, short.
Are you?
I was
Okay.
a 57 pounder.
57. All right. Albert, what were you?
49, way
Okay.
back, 50
Okay.
to 60 pounds ago.
Okay. Googs, what were you?
I wrestled 41, and then I took up 49 sophomore through junior year.
Okay. Nice. Well, hey, y'all are big Penn State fans, right?
I mean,
I can see it.
I
right?
am.
So tell me,
I'm from-
how did you get
I'm
into
from
whiskey,
New York.
Vinny?
I'm actually Cornell.
Oh, you're a Cornell guy?
Yeah.
My
Yep.
son's going to camp there this summer.
Awesome. With
Yeah.
Coach Gray.
Yeah, he's awesome. Awesome
Mhm.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited for him to get for my boy to learn from Vito. Like Vito's, I feel like is a,
I'll tell you what, the poster reach, which Vito hits over and over again, poster reach is what we preach here at our school. It is so simple, and if he can just teach him that.
Yeah. I mean, so
Take
much
it
of
and run.
wrestling is simple, It's not complicated. Like the low single is
Mhm.
is the bread and butter for John Smith, and it's all Hamity basically use it all the way, use like an ankle pick all the way to the finals. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
But-
Vinny, how did you get into whiskey?
Albert got me into whiskey. We were roommates in college together, and he just loved to drink, and I started liking to drink. And our big thing that we always had was we would drink Jim Beam all the time.
Yeah.
And after college, I was here and there. I'd try stuff, and then Albert got us all together, and that's when I really started getting it. So probably 2-3 years ago was when I really got 2 years ago, got a little bit more serious into this.
How did you how did you all maintain your athletic prowess and shape and weight drinking bourbon while in college?
Drinking
Beer
bourbon,
Olympics.
not beer.
What's that?
Drinking bourbon, not beer.
Yeah, all right, fair. So
Better
you were-
metabolism.
You weren't getting shit pissed drunk, is what you're saying.
Of course not.
No, we're not definitely not saying that.
Not saying that publicly. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
We looked at them as PEDs because they made everything easier.
Oh, very nice. All right, and then you woke up and had Scrapple. Am I right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, sir. That was on the menu for Easter this Sunday.
All right, so let's all pour some Dad's Hat to kind of warm up with. I'm gonna start with the Bottled and Bond, which is like, this is to me was one of the most. This was one of the most important like small distillery releases of its time. When it came out, because Bottled and Bond means a lot to in order for a distillery to make Bottled and Bond, which goes all the way back to 1897, it had to be from one distilling season. It had to be from that distillery. And they had so that means they're stuck to a certain set of barrels that they can't mingle with things that are outside of the season. So for me, the benchmark for Dad's Hat will always be that 2021 Bottled and Bond, because that was a moment of like, you know what, we friggin' made it. We're a small distillery. We've had whiskey and wood for long enough, and here we are. Boom. So that's what I'm sipping on. What are you all going to start with before we do our taste off here?
I told you the Syrah finish. I think just the way that Dad's Hat drinks and our single barrels are 130 proof. It's been when I have people over and we're trying our single barrel, I don't let them just jump right into this big and bold single barrel that we have. I warm them up with the 94 proof Syrah finish, which has some of the same characteristics in there. Because I think Dad's Hat really is a pretty bold whiskey, and it could surprise some people who aren't like avid whiskey drinkers.
The problem with rye is that people don't understand rye, and so they just ignore it because they don't want to educate themselves on it. And like there's a whole slew of bourbon drinkers out there who just don't want to learn about rye, and it's really frustrating. Actually, it's real frustrating. All right, Googs, what are you starting with?
I was sipping. My brother-in-law was down in Lexington and got me a bottle of the Whiskey Thief. They're rye.
You're not starting out with Dad's Hat.
I don't have anything else other than what I got in front of me right now.
I think that could that may have an influence on your palate for tonight.
Will it? I mean, it's been a little while.
I don't know.
I have some Ponfay I can drink.
Okay, that's good. You have a Ponfay rye?
I do.
Okay, get that on your palate.
All right.
Let's get some of that. Let's get some of that rye, on your palate, so you're looking forward to it. Zach,
right.
I saw you. Your glass was filled that thick, so I know you're already crushing. You're probably like 5 in, aren't you?
I wish. I just got home, from being gone
2.
since about 6 a.m. So and I'm totally noobing it up right now, and I don't care, but I'll take a suggestion because one, I don't have any other Dad's Hat. This is my first Dad's Hat bottle, is the one that Albert picked, which he'll finish telling that story. So I have ours poured, and I've just been kind of nosing and tasting a little bit of both of them.
Already. Been jumping ahead.
I wasn't aware, so if you want to pick something for me.
We gave you no instructions.
All right, good.
But Albert did tell me specifically to fuck with you, so,
Oh, that's all right. I'm okay. Please do.
By the way,
Heisey is pulling in right now.
By the way, is your pick still available in Sealbox?
Yes, it is. I believe so. They haven't told me it's sold out.
So I think your pick may still be available. Mine is still available on Baxis. Big shout out to Baxis, one of my retail partners, and they're the presenting sponsor of the Fred Minnick Show for having this available. So go to Baxis. You can find a link. I think you can find a link in the description for both of our bottles. So if you don't have these yet, while we get into it, go check it out. And also, man, if you're not looking at Dad's Hat, you are missing out on a great small retailer. And they're kind of like, they're positioned in a part of Pennsylvania that New Jersey claims. So I don't understand the relationship between Philadelphia or Pennsylvania and New Jersey. But when I'm in New Jersey, they claim Pennsylvania as their own. Can you all explain that to me a little bit?
I mean, wouldn't you too if you lived in Jersey?
Probably, yeah.
All right, so I live in southern New Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. I'm about 15-minute drive over there. So we don't claim Pennsylvania, but we claim Philadelphia as ours.
Okay.
Because most of the sports fans that are Philadelphia fans travel over everybody from southern New Jersey is a Philadelphia sports fan. And we all travel over the bridge.
And question in the chat, Texas Whiskey Geek asked, does Baxter ship to Texas? As far as I know, yes, they take care of all 50 states. They have retailers as a way of kind of, getting them there.
Shout out Caleb.
What are you sipping on to prep your palate?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going West Coast. I have the Rocket Top from Redwood Empire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's respectable. I can accept that. Googs, on the other hand, failed immensely. Did you got the pound file on your palate yet, Googs?
I do. I just started sipping. It's the Westsylvania rye.
That shit is good. That's really
It's
good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. How many?
That was on your top 100?
Yeah, it did well in my top 100. I think it finished in the 40s.
Yeah, Googs, you didn't share that one with us.
I'm sorry. I got a little bit left. I'll send samples.
Yeah, you sound sorry as you're like, that was so good.
Just finish the bottle.
Jason Young put in the chat, don't mention a word about MMA, grappling, your disinterest in whiskey or bourbon, or promoting any of your stuff. All right, Jason, that's going to be hard for me. I've already screwed up talking about wrestling. So,
is there anything left to talk about?
Is that sarcasm?
For real, I could talk hours about it. But US Open's happening, and I'm just gonna sit on the couch and watch. I can't wait.
I can't believe that I could go to sleep. You were watching Division 3 and texting us about.
Yeah,
when that message came through, I was like, this guy is a diehard.
Yeah, well, you saw the Warburg 197 pounder went to Iowa, right?
Yes. He was at he at Wisconsin?
Yeah,
and then
he should have never been. Honestly, he should have never been D3. You watch that.
One of our guys wrestled him a few years ago at Nationals
in the quarters at Nationals. Yeah,
he is tough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna break down. Let's do this. I'm gonna break down the Dad's Hat Bottle of Bomb from 2021. It's been a minute since I've tasted this, and then you all break down what you're tasting, and then we'll do the comparison, and then when y'all are breaking it down, I'm just kind of tell you about like what what to look for and everything. So as I'm breaking this down, I want to kind of instruct you like how to break yours down, like what to look for. Okay, so bring it to your nose, and when you smell, yeah. Yes. What is it?
A heads up. Just a heads up. I want you to instruct me, and I want to learn from you. But you might not be able to fix me, is all.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
But I'll learn.
I see what you're saying now, Albert. All right. So
I didn't pick them.
Bring it to your nose. When you smell, you'll smell with your mouth slightly open. And kind of go side by side. So what you're doing here is when you're smelling with your mouth open, your nose does not it cycles, so it doesn't smell entirely by, at once, like it cycles through. So one side, well, you'll pick up sweet. On another side, you might pick up spice. And when you open your mouth, you allow for more kind of circulation or cycling. It really, more than anything, you're relaxing your olfactory. And if you're not used to smelling alcohol, or even if you are used to smelling alcohol, sometimes you can get a whiff of alcohol and it like hurts your nose or feels like it singes your nose hairs, kind of deal. And so like smelling is super super important. One of the big reasons why we smell is like you're looking for like making sure it's not bad, right? So there's people all over the world right now who are dying from like fake alcohol drinking out of their minibar. There's a story that pops up all the time at resorts in the Caribbean of people drinking fake alcohol or buying moonshine from the wrong person, that sort of thing. And so if you smell something like dirty socks, turpentine, Zach's basement, things like that, you know to not drink it, right? So, but after that, you're looking for the positives. And there's a ton of things that you could be kind of like trying to look for, but just put it in a general category. Is it sweet? If it's sweet, you can look at it later, like breaking it down further. Is it spicy? Is it earthy? Is it floral? Is it, et cetera, et cetera. All right, by the way, Jason Young just put in the chat. He was just messing with me. All right.
I was sweating.
I was worried about that. That's why, Jason doesn't like MMA and grappling all of a sudden. Kind of looks like he's in a gi in that photo, actually.
Fred, do you watch like UFC and stuff?
I do watch UFC if it's on, but I ain't gonna lie, like I just love wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I love watching that, and I know most people think they're boring. Most UFC people like the striking and everything. I get that. I do box from time to time, but to me, it's not. I like the class and composure and sportsmanship in wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like UFC, in order for these guys are actually really friends, but in order for to get anyone to watch, they have to create these fake heels and fake beefs.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's always bothered me.
It drives me nuts when they talk so much shit before they put on this show and then they hug each other at the end.
Yeah.
And then I feel let down, like it was actually all fake and an act.
Well, but you paid to be there, and that's what matters.
I keep paying.
Okay, so the next thing is you want to put it on your palate, and the thing about it is not yet. Vinny, slow down, Vinny,
You can't control him.
When you put it on your palate, what we're trying to do here is you want to put it on your tongue, and you want to see what part of the tongue do you feel it most prominently. So the only thing that you're trying to do here is you're trying to see where do you feel it. And everyone's tongue is different. Everyone, tastes differently. This is a technique that I learned when I came home from Iraq. I talk about this a lot when I learned taste mindfulness and therapy. And I basically was connecting my brain to my tongue to get me to stop thinking about snipers on roofs, things like that. And it completely changed how I tasted. And what I have found is that everyone tastes things differently, and there's no right way for you to pick up flavors. But the thing is that everybody feels things on a certain part of their tongue. So what I want you to do is put a little bit on, about a thimble size amount, on your tongue and see where you feel it most prominently. So here we go. Now you can have a sip, Benny. All right, do you feel it on the tip of the tongue?
Yeah,
Middle?
a little bit.
Middle toward the back? A little line right there in your tongue? Anybody feel it all the way in the back?
Yes.
Anyone feel it on the sides?
Yeah, towards
Only
the
the-
front.
Toward the front on the sides?
Yeah.
Front and sides.
Okay. So when I'm doing like a competitive tasting, I will jot down like what by the way, Texas Whiskey Geek puts in the chat. The instructions are not clear. I feel it in my loins. Texas Whiskey Geek, you are not to be doing things with the whiskey. Just drink
You
it.
can find Texas Whiskey Geek on the Only Bourbon Fans channel. Just saying, and maybe his loins.
Well, this is where the OnlyFans comes into play with you guys. So I will like focus on like how many parts of my palate I felt something most prominently, right? And that is like I usually like reward that. So the more places I feel something, I reward it. So now for the next taste, I want you to focus on the part that you felt the whiskey most prominently, and then see if a flavor pops there. So for your case, Vinny, you said you felt it on the sides and the tip most prominently, right? So we're on
Right.
there.
On the
So
what?
Sides, the front side tip area for him.
Just the tip.
Just
tip?
the tip. So focus on that and see if a flavor comes to you. All right.
Do you nose before you like? Do you nose and then taste, or do you like?
when I'm doing when I'm specifically focusing on my tongue? No.
Okay.
Like the smelling part is a whole different. We're all different. Like if you want to smell and then taste, go for it. All right. Thinking of specifically the part where you felt the whiskey most prominently, was there a note that popped out? Was there something that came to your palate that you're like, I know that note? All right, Vinny, go.
Yeah, apple.
Okay, apple. Very good. Googs?
I feel like I got a lot of like sweet oak on this one.
Sweet oak? All right, you're like
Yeah.
my buddy Kenny. He loves sweet oak. All
Yeah.
right, Albert and Halsey?
I am pepper on the back
Okay.
with the dad's hat.
Yeah, it's middle tongue for me, and it's like spice, rye spice.
Okay. So you notice like how we're getting you two are getting spice on different places, right? So Albert, you're getting it on the middle of your tongue, and you're getting it in the back of your tongue. So
The other way, I think.
the other way around. I got it flipped. So, but the point is that we all interpret the whiskey differently on different parts of our tongue. And welcome back to the show, Zach. So that is basically a tasting, and that is kind of like I will go through that in every format. The last thing I'm looking for is the finish. Like how long is it still on the tongue? Like I'm still picking up this this bottled and bond, and it feels pretty fan-friggin-tastic on my tongue, you know. So that's it. So are you all ready to do this taste off? And can you do the taste off fairly, since you all outnumber me? I know I will. I'll vote against my own stuff. I will. I've done it many times, actually.
I was going to ask you that.
I was gonna say I have a question. How important is a nose to you when you're doing these like tasting? I know it's a tasting, not a nosing, but
Yeah, well,
how important
when it
is
comes when it gets when it matters less in the beginning, and when my
Okay.
palate gets a little bit more fatigued, it matters a lot more. So it's kind of like, you know, say if we're wrestling, you know, everyone loved the fireman's carry, but that's pretty freaking hard to get against a good wrestler. But a standard high crotch, it's far easier to get from like, you know, snap. So
Yeah.
I would say if I'm in the third period, I'm gassed, I'm not going for a fireman's carry, you know, maybe a headlock through actually. But anyway, the whole thing is to be what you're comfortable with. And like, if you rely a lot on nose, then rely a lot on nose. But when we pick barrels at Club Marzipan, the thing that we're looking for is how well will it pair with a steak, because we need something that will stand up to a steak. All right, Zach, you had your hand raised like a good boy.
Yeah. So, and I will say you will get a fair assessment from me because I was not at this barrel pick. But I do think, I don't know if you want to do it real quick or not. I think Albert should finish quickly the story of how he came across this barrel, because I think we're partly there when he was talking about when he was at Dad's Hat, and then we got a little sidetracked.
Yeah, I can do that. I can make it quick too. So we were tasting all out of all these barrels. But Fred, you were there literally a day before we were.
Yeah, that's right. That's how this all
just
came
out
to be.
of sheer luck.
Yeah.
The lot of barrels that were rolled out for you were still there. We did not get to try yours that day, unfortunately. But I think that you may have tried 5 out of 6. And the 6th barrel, Herman said, we didn't get to try this one. I really wanted to get into this. And so we tried that. And when I tried that thing, and he mentioned at some point about how sometimes these get thrown into his batched products.
Yeah.
I about lost my mind. And I said, we need to buy this. I can't let this be batched. So I called everybody I knew that would be interested in single barrels, because we don't have quite the network to buy our own. And I was able to find a cigar
Not yet,
shop.
Anyway.
Not yet. Maybe after this podcast or this YouTube.
This will be all over the place soon. Like after this airs, I'll drop it on all the other places and what have you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And people could still buy these, which again, I was just so blown away. I couldn't let it go. So we split it. We bought half, and then a cigar shop in Mechanicsburg, Lounge 611. They took the other half and did. They did a cigar and whiskey pairing, and Dad's Hat actually went out there and had a little release party. Was it John? Is he Herman's partner?
Yeah, the other co-founder. I forget his name, but he was at the release pouring up all the samples. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's
you, as Zach said, being the addictive personality, tasted some of that sweet action. You're like, I must take it home. Is that about how it went?
I wanted to take it home that day. Herman wouldn't let me just roll it out.
Unfortunately, there's these laws and these federal agents that would arrest him and put him in jail for that. But
yeah, I respect it. We got it.
Well, I've been nosing them back and forth, and they're completely different. They're not even. I would not have guessed, smelling these two, that they're from the same distillery.
And they are both. They were barreled within 2 months of each other.
Yeah.
And they were bottled also within 2 months of each other.
What's the age on them?
They are both 6 years. And ours is 130 proof and yours is 128. When we were at the distillery, when we tasted our pick, it was actually 129. And it went up slightly between then and being barreled or bottled.
It happens sometimes. Man, I just tasted mine for the first time in a while. That's friggin' good. Friggin' good, man. Y'all's smells so much sweeter than mine.
Yours has like this like herbally smell on it.
Yeah,
like this.
Yeah, that's right.
This herbal note, and like ours, I can smell like this like dark kind of cherry kind of fruity
Exactly.
note.
Spot on. Look at Googs over here.
Damn. That's our guy right there.
See, that's the only approval I needed.
And I'm only busting his chops. He's our guy for that.
He really is by far the best out of all of us. But he cooks the most, maybe next to Vinny. I think that goes a long way.
I gotta be honest with you. This is like, am I in the mood for like a chocolate cherry pie, or do I want like an herbal candy and some
Oh yeah.
some herbs and like some pepper.
Yeah.
Actually, mine has a little bit of a marijuana note to it too. Vinny knows what's up. I saw the look on his face. He's like, "Yep."
Well, I don't know what that note is.
Oh, okay. Okay, Albert, go to the buttoned up Only Bourbon Fans group then. Get out of here.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, for me, I thought that our pick actually had some overlapping bourbon characteristics, even though it is a rye. There's definitely like a caramel and vanilla on there that you would get from a bourbon. But still,
Your pick is not a traditional rye.
No.
And by no way would I say that this is Dad's hat. This tastes nothing. In fact, this has a very similar flavor profile to like an Old Forester rye, which has much lower rye content.
Mm-hmm. Well, Googs has always been the rye guy in this group. But I think I'm speaking for the rest of us, where rye is something that's very, very new to us. Heisey over here blinded us with a Michter's rye once.
I've been calling you Halsey all night. Sorry, man. You should have corrected me there.
It's all good. It's a challenging last name.
He's been called worse.
I mean, the eye looked like an L. Sorry. I need new prescription there, Albert.
Just so you know, on the podcast, he will now be called Halsey. He'll never be
Well, it's better
Heisey
than
ever
Heine.
Yeah, I'll take Halsey over Heine any day.
Halsey is a cool wrestling name. I like Halsey.
Yeah, I should have actually rolled with that. I should have just changed it to an L when I was wrestling.
It's not that cool.
Sounds like you'd be wrestling at Virginia Tech, though.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that good.
We have George Saliba's in here. He's got a great TikTok and Instagram. He sells cars.
Oh,
one of our wrestling buddies, actually.
That's awesome, George. I can't. Every time I get in TikTok, I get right back out. I try, but I can't ever make it work. Okay, so I think we're all in agreement here that this is a night and day kind of. These are two different barrel picks. I do not taste the level of rye in yours that I do mine, and I think I actually like enjoy yours more, but it is not. It doesn't represent the category. It sounds weird. It sounds weird to put it, but it does not represent what rye is to me. And that's like when you're doing taste offs, it's like, real, I got a nitpick here. So it's really amazing. So kudos to you all.
This nose on our pick, it definitely throws me off.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. There's like every time I nose it, it's not bad, and then it's just something different.
It's like a Lindor. It's like a Lindor chocolate covered cherry, or something like that.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I felt it coming from you.
Yeah.
So Fred, when you do a pick at a distillery, do you have, I imagine you don't want it to match a small batch, but you still want it to be kind of on profile. Like for this exact example. You went
Yeah,
looking
I like
for a
it.
Dad's Hat Rye.
The most important thing is that it pairs well with the steak. If it's on profile for the distillery, I don't care as much. That doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I mean, you go and pick an Elijah Craig barrel. Almost all those are on profile for Heaven Hill. You know, there's very few off profile ones there. Heaven Hill's those Elijah Craig barrels are usually pretty airtight. It's like, which one's more caramelly than that one? You know, it varies, but like I see where you're going with that, and I think that you all definitely did pick one that is off profile. And here's the thing, it's delicious. It's delicious, and it would pair great with the steak. But I think it'd pair better with like a flourless chocolate cake or something.
When you're picking a barrel specifically, are you picking it to? So you obviously have like a fan base and a club and stuff to pick for, but are you picking it for your liking? Or are you picking it for the majority of what you think is friendly to everyone else's palate?
So here's a fun story for you all. I actually am often overridden by my members. So we pick as a group.
Okay.
And this is one of the only picks that I have done that was just me. Like, this was my decision and my decision alone. And so I just dropped a video where I tasted with where Club Marzipan came out and we did a Woodinville pick. And there was a whole discussion about, like, you all can outvote me. I'm just one vote. But I've lost. My vote is not won a lot. So, and one of the members is in the chat, Philip Bosch. He says we have fist fights. That is true. We have had some heated ones. We had a member once who was like, "I'm gonna leave right now if you pick that." I was like, "All right." And we've had some fun with him since then over that one. But
I like that guy.
Yeah, you would love him. You would.
So how many
Let's get him
people
on
are
our
on?
podcast.
What's that?
How many people are you doing this with?
Our picking teams are usually 4 to like 7. So, and sometimes they're virtual, sometimes they're in person. It's kind of all over the place.
I think that, like, the picking experience, we've only done. This was actually our second pick, and then there is a third coming. But I think that the experience is it's just a blast. And if people have a chance to join like a local liquor store or something, like, I would 100% recommend trying to get on a pick somehow. It's just, it's like with us, it's like the boys are hanging out, drinking some whiskey, and just deciding which one's best.
So will you all are a growing group of influencers, and I've been watching you all from afar, and I've loved the banter amongst you, and the and your desire to learn about whiskey is awesome. So maybe you all start bringing people out for your picks, grow your base a little bit, and then in 5 years you'll be so tired of it you want to quit. So that seems to be the rotation of, like, someone does it for 5 years and they want to quit. I've been doing it for 20. I'm like, what does that say about me? Like, there's something wrong with me if I keep doing this shit. I love it. But
someone once told us that if we got past 40 podcast episodes, that we were committed, and we hit 100 like in January this year. So
nice.
We're all in.
Do you all have a Patreon? Do you have a Patreon, or please tell me it? So for real, I'm not just saying this, but I think it would be hilarious if you all did an OnlyFans support group.
I'll do it. I'll send pictures of my bottles.
There would be some. Look, I saw the data of, like, how many young women in their 20s are on OnlyFans and how much money they make. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this world? I mean, it's like holy shit. Hey, so Oak and Agave, they got a podcast slash YouTube channel. They're about 20. So let's give it up to Oak and Agave. Let's keep it going, y'all. Keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this, Oak and Agave. Got to believe.
Yeah.
I started out writing, so this shit is way harder than writing.
Fred, do you know who Manessa in football is?
Do I know who Vanessa in football is?
Manessa, they just commented. I don't know if that's one of the Dad's Hat guys, but he said our barrel was made with rye harvested in 2017, and Fred's was with rye harvested in July 2018.
Someone just came up to my window, was taking a picture of me. I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
What month in 2017? I would wonder. Just because, I mean, obviously, like picking rye and stuff or grain in different type climates is, when it's matured and stuff, and definitely
It's
has
Herman.
an effect. Oh, it's Herman.
We got a. So Herman, were you a football player in 1975 for Monessen? I want to know about this. Philip Bosch does say he is glad that he doesn't have to explain an OnlyFans charge, and trying to explain it's a whiskey thing. So
That's a good play.
I think that's Philip's way of saying that he would be a fan.
I love that comment. That's great.
It's good.
Here's a good point. The Bourbon Glut is coming. Keep picking barrels, and it won't be long till you're picking 15-year-old barrels regularly. Well, how do you like them apples?
Thanks, bro.
Well, you definitely the people have been definitely being more non-disclosed of their age statements lately too. Like everybody wants to put an age statement on their bottles. I've noticed, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, y'all been coming at it. I'd still classify you all as freshmen. Kind of coming into the game, and
That's fair.
And like the amount of like ups and downs with age statements. Here's the thing that is happening in bourbon right now is that the people who invested a lot of them want their money back because they're hurting in other areas. So private equity people, lenders, and and if you miss a payment on a loan, you're fucked. They want the equipment, they want to get their money back. I mean, and then the tariffs come, and then all these reports of the 22-year-olds not drinking, they're doing pot instead. That doesn't help. So you got all these things kind of feeding into one another. And it's kind of
THC infused bourbon.
They haven't been able to figure it out yet because they the way that the two things metabolize.
Yeah.
As I was told by someone studying it, THC is metabolizing more in the stomach, and alcohol is obviously in the liver, and so they haven't been able to figure out how to get them to cohesively metabolize together and not entirely fuck up your entrails. So anyway, shall we get back to the tasting?
Yeah.
All right, so
Yes.
when I go off in tangents, we lose people. So we lost a few viewers there, but we've had a pretty decent amount all night.
We don't want them anyways.
I hate that I end up picking the same time as Mash and Drum, and I hate doing that. I didn't know I picked this. Albert, when I set this up, I was like, hey, this is the time I can do it. I didn't even look at anyone else's like live streams at the time, so sorry about that. Let's get to the taste off. We've kind of established that they're both different, and I really do love Dad's Hat for what Dad's Hat is doing for rye. I love the flavor profile they have, and so I personally would not have picked the barrel that you all did, but now that it's in front of me, I really like it, and I want to have it with like a cherry chocolate, peanut kind of dessert thingy.
I would say I was definitely getting some nutty notes on the end, like it lingers a little bit.
So I'm going to do the old classic, what part do I feel it on the tongue more? So I'm just going to throw out the whole, that one tastes more like rye than this one, and kind of go with that. So let's see. Are you all decided already? Do you have your decision?
No, I can be swayed.
Oh, no. Googs, don't be swayed.
Wait,
You're the chosen
decision
talent
on
of the
what?
group.
No, I'm just messing.
Googs, do I need
They
to, do
said
I need
you're
to
the
make a
chosen
pitch?
one. Damn.
Do you mean decision on which one you like better, or are you just talking back with the palate stuff?
Decision on which you like better. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought. That's what
You ready?
I need one more sip each.
That's fair.
I'll go last.
Actually, I need one more sip too.
Now, Fred, are you cleansing your palate in between to or what? Or how are you? What do you? I could only see your
was doing that, and then I
forehead.
don't have a whole lot of water left, so.
Okay.
But
I can only. Yeah.
I've done it. I've done it long enough to know. You just kind of know.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that. You have conviction behind it.
Yeah.
Fred,
I
could
could
we
do-
throw our
If I didn't have
our
to talk
rating?
into a camera, like I could do a 100 flight within like 20 minutes. If I didn't have to talk about what I was tasting, I could do it so quick.
David,
Are you
Mark
spitting
Young
or
actually
swallowing?
told us that one time on
Definitely
stage.
spitting for the first taste.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be dead.
David Mark Young actually told us about watching you do that on stage one time.
Yeah.
Go through a flight of 100. He said, "I've never seen anything like it."
You know, I come out to Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh at a place called Jurgles usually every year to do my blind bourbon. It's a lot of fun. But you all are Philly people. You don't like Pittsburgh, right?
We're not all
Pittsburgh's
people.
amazing.
I love Pittsburgh.
We're all over
Fred,
the place.
I'm upstate New York in Rochester.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yep.
I'll be in Ithaca in a little bit. That's
Say I drop by, but it's a couple hours for me.
Oh, it is a couple hours. Okay.
Yeah. But maybe I'll
I'm
drop by.
closer. I'm from closer to the Poconos originally, so.
All right. I was going back and forth with this all night. But you know, it's one of those things where I picked a really great barrel for rye whiskey, and I love it. And you all picked a great barrel, period. I would say that this is a contrast of what do you want in a barrel pick. And I am tasting this and I'm thinking of what I want to pair it with and what I like, and also one of them hit more points of the palate than the other. And flavor-wise, this is so what's Mon Valley? Herman says he's from Mon Valley. He put that in the chat.
I believe that's a school.
That's a school?
Yeah. And for those who don't know, Herman is one of the founders of Dad's Hat.
He is Dad's Hat.
He is Dad's Hat.
He is Dad's
And it
Hat.
was his dad. It was actually his dad's hat is how the name came about.
I hope he knows how much his whiskey means to people. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things where like business is tough and not everyone appreciates rye whiskey like I do. But I just hope that Herman and everyone at Dad's Hat knows how much that the people who love whiskey love Dad's Hat. I just love that brand. And both of these barrel picks are synonymous as to why. Like I never in a million years would have picked out the one that you all did as Dad's Hat. And the fact that he has that range going on in his barrels, it's incredible. That being said, I came in tonight wanting to taste rye. I had rye on my mind when we sat down. When we were doing the prep tastings, I said, everyone, let's drink some Dad's Hat to prep for it. Let's have a rye. When Googs was like, oh, I got a bourbon over here from
No, that was a rye. That wasn't a bourbon.
Oh, was it a oh?
That's why I was wondering why you're hating on me so much.
Oh,
And you lit into him.
I did.
I said it. I said it was their rye barrel.
Okay, my bad. My bad.
I
You
love
just
it.
made me go get a whole nother bottle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you got a better one anyway. The Ponfay is amazing.
It's so good.
But I was wanting rye whiskey all night. So I'm gonna go with my barrel pick because to me, it's more of what I was looking for in a rye, and it's not just because it's mine. I'm telling you, it's because I'm in the mood for it right now. That's it.
So
I was about to log off.
when you think of rye, I obviously I can probably guess what you think about rye. Just pick based on your pick there. What are the notes you look for in a rye? Because for me, I love the sweet green apple kind of little bit of rye spice to it.
Okay, so green apple is typically in the younger ones, right? So, have you ever experienced a 15-year-old rye?
I can't say that I have, not off the top of my head.
Send us a sample, Fred.
So this right here, this is Nelson Brothers 15-year-old rye. This is one of the MGP ryes. Like they're what I'm looking for in a rye is I look for complexity that is not on the spectrum of like sweet. I'm looking for complexity that is like herbally, spicy. There can be some fruits in there. There can be some weird stuff in there, like a little cannabis. There can be things like mushrooms. There can be dirt. There can be like sawdust. But at the end of the day, rye as a grain has a lot of high enzymes in it. Like it's a very high enzyme grain. And so that can yield a lot of like fatty acids, a lot of like lipids and stuff when it's fermented. That's why actually rye is not, I'm going to take a tangent here for a second. But historically, rye was not a Kentucky whiskey. That only happened because of all the Pennsylvania distilleries closed. Old Overholt, Rittenhouse, Pikesville, all of these distilleries closed down in Maryland and Pennsylvania, but they still had brand equity, so the Kentucky distilleries acquired them, and they started making rye in Kentucky at a higher amount, and they would ferment them, and the fermentation would come all it would get so foamy, it would come over the fermenters, and so like it's because it's super high and super enzymic. And then they started adding, they used to like put like pig lard around the fermenters to absorb the enzymes, and then they started adding like chemical enzymes and food additives and food enzymes and things like that to control the foam. And the Pennsylvania distillers figured it out. They knew how to do it. They knew how to like what grains to use. They knew what percentage of barley to use and if corn, if any. And they had like a special, secret sauce to making rye. So all that is to say that I go back to the original ryes that were really popular back in the day, like Old Overholt from Pennsylvania in the early 1900s. Black licorice was a major note. Herbs was a major note, and like wood chips, things like that earthy kind of notes. Like I look for that, and I love that. MGP becomes like this like major producer of rye, and their style of rye tastes like a dill pickle. That style of rye did not really have any kind of commercial success until MGP started selling its barrels to craft distillers who couldn't make any whiskey. And so everyone had this flavor profile or flavor interest in MGP rye. So when Dad's Hat comes out and people who really know rye are like, oh my God, here we go. This is it. Rye is back. But you have so many Kentucky ryes that are 51% rye and like 49% corn or whatever. And there's just not a lot of that kind of a note. Those traditional notes in there. They're more sweet. So anyway, that's a long way around of answering the question for you, Googs.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, I mean, I feel like something like our pick is definitely something that's would gently ease somebody who's loves bourbon, is on the fence about rye, into that category maybe.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah. No, I 1,000% agree that this is a what would you call this? This is a transfer portal rye right here. You know. That's all in the news these days.
Fred, everybody's in the transfer portal.
This is
both our barrels would be.
Yeah,
this is more like Kyle Dake joining the Penn State RTC.
Oh, yeah. Gilman leaving Oklahoma State really. That was a hard one.
Oh,
for
I'm
me.
sure that hurt. Yeah.
That no one understands that he is so amazing. Like he's great. He's great.
If people probably have no idea what we're talking about, I would just go Google Thomas Gilman on YouTube and just see some absolutely wild interviews. But these are the nuts that are in wrestling and like the mentality that you have in wrestling.
You have to have it though. It's a hard sport. So where's your vote? I placed mine down. Again, I did not vote on mine because it was mine. I voted on it because I was in the mood for rye, and that's kind of it. Googs, going to go to you, my friend.
Yeah, it's so hard too because like when you point that out, I'm gonna go with ours once again, not because it's ours, but because I do look for those kind of fruitier notes in a rye that's more inviting for me. I do like the rye spice. I do really enjoy yours. Like that is really good. And it's a totally different part of the spectrum, which is why it makes it so hard to choose between these two, honestly. But I'm gonna say ours.
Yeah, both great.
Yeah, there's nothing displeasing about either one of them.
All right, who's next? Vinny?
This was a hard one. Fred, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yours, it fucking blew my balls off. I love your pick.
Okay.
I like ours. There's one thing in ours that does draw me towards it. And I think it's on the back end. I get a little bit of like it's almost like a black tea that kind of lingers, and I enjoy it. But I don't know, Fred. I think I have to go with yours.
It's
the rye. The other thing
It's
for
a
me is
it's a taint tickler.
It drinks a little hotter than ours. And these guys know I'm a proof whore, and I just think with yours drinking hotter, I'm drawn toward it more.
Okay. All right. I feel like Helzy and Albert are going to go with y'all's, but let's hear it.
Take it away.
So I'll start. You mentioned about most ryes having that dill, or I shouldn't say most ryes, but the MGP stuff. So a lot of what I had initially had that dill profile that like veered me away from ryes altogether. But when we visited Dad's Hat, there wasn't a single pour I had that I didn't enjoy. Your pick is really good, but I think what led me to our pick is that it's got it's got everything I enjoy about the rye, the Dad's Hat rye, with that caramel and vanilla sweetness. Like I enjoy having that as part of it, like all together. So I still lean towards our pick. I think that when we actually, so Albert didn't touch this, but we gave this barrel a fair shot. We did pick this amongst like three other
Oh,
samples, so
okay.
four total.
After we were at the distillery, Herman sent us samples and we blinded them and still picked it.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it was the same. It was the fact that it has everything I love about a Dad's Hat rye with that caramel and vanilla coming through. I still feel the same.
I love
So
it.
I lean on it. Yeah.
All right, so now it's 2-2. Let's go to Zach.
So I was not at the pick, like Googs as well. And I will say this, the consensus on our pick that people have had, like friends, family, plus 611 Cigar Lounge, they love it. Albert, do you remember what the first thing I said about this?
No.
Had a tough time with it.
I said I kind of struggled with it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembers that. I was like, I'm kind of weird. Like I'm not like I like a lot of stuff. Like I don't dislike much. Maybe that's not weird, but I came into
depends on what you like here. Like I mean,
just a happy. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, man. I like whiskey and I enjoy it.
Feet and hands.
They pulled out this. My best friends pulled out this pick, and I was like, something's off about it. Like for me. And then I had it a couple more times. Like, okay, it's getting better. And I'm like, I'm drinking it tonight, and I'm like, I'm actually really enjoying it, especially the way you described it. And I'm like, oh, this is way better than my initial impression. Like, my dad has this bottle, Albert's dad, and they all love it, and all the friends and family. I took a sip of your. I didn't have the warm up bottle like everybody else, right? So
no.
I took a sip of your. I took a sip of your club marzipan, and I was like, that tastes awesome. And I've really gotten into ryes over the last year, where I really enjoy rye, and kind of what you're saying right now is what I'm feeling. I am club marzipan on this pick for this one.
Oh, wow.
Swing vote.
3-2
Yeah.
going to Albert.
But I will give this
No
props because Albert, this tastes way better than when I first tried it.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we either have a tie or we have an outright win.
I mean, I've been a fanboy of this barrel since the day I was in the distillery.
You've been rubbing your nipples on it, I heard.
You gotta love. You're gonna let all your inhibitions go.
I have enough bottles here to bathe in it.
Yeah.
He
There you
quickly
go.
pulled his shirt down when I walked in. It was weird.
That's why it's sold out. You bought them all.
Right. Now, I will say, so as we're talking, and Fred, as you're coaching us through this, first of all, we're still like super new to this whole thing. Super new to rye.
What is that? What is that band called? Verb Pipe. You all are only freshmen. So
Yes.
Yeah,
in that
and
song.
we're happy to admit it.
We're not that new though. We're like sophomores now. Like we're up a little bit.
Okay.
You say softcore?
Maybe I'm like an old grandpa at this point.
We're
and
like
I need
freshmen
a
that were held
replacement.
back a year.
Yeah.
Freshmen that were held back a year. Yeah. So like when you're talking about the tongue so much, I think that there is a significant difference between ours and yours, where yours does definitely coat the tongue in like all places compared to ours. But what I loved about our pick and what I liked about our pick, even compared to when we blinded them, was that it stood out with that caramel that I'm like a diehard for caramel. And
Oh man,
So-
when there's that one note that if you find it and you taste it, you're like, oh man, that's it. That's dangerous. Trust me, I know. You can probably figure out what that note is for me. But
you named your club after it.
I named my club after marzipan because if I taste marzipan, I'm like, oh, fucking marzipan, I love it. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
just warning you, it's dangerous. Don't go down. I mean, not because of the vote or anything, but in future tastings, find a way to try to resist the caramel note urge of oh my god, I love it too much.
Yeah, but I can't. And what I love about Dad's Head is that it's so bold though. This again, I said this earlier. I have to warn people when I give them this. This is going to be very much in your face. Not just our pick, but all of them. But when you mix that boldness and there's a peppery finish to it with that caramel note, the Syrah that I started with, you've got that wine with that pepper finish. I think that it just they work together so well. So I go with mine and our pick. The Only Bourbon
All right,
Fan.
so we got a 3-3 tie here, and
not for nothing, Fred. The deck was kind of stacked against you.
I mean, that's true. We had Vinny and Zach come my way. I mean, of course they're awesome, but that's it really has nothing to do with that. It has to do with what you taste and what you are picking up. And I got to be honest with you. It was very close to me. It was not easy for me, and it really was a mood thing. And if I came into this tasting with more of an open mind of wanting of just a general flavor profile, I'd be picking y'all's. But I came into the tasting with a hankering for rye, which I've been dry for a week. So I've been thinking about this for a week, So if that gives
I
you
would actually claim that your palate might be tainted.
Tainted with all the goodness here, or not
being dry
haven't been dry for a week. Well, so here's what's been happening. I've been wrestling with some of the Bellarmine wrestlers. I think I might have mentioned this to you before.
Oh boy!
But the recovery after a tasting is wicked. It's yesterday I wrestled the 197 starter for Bellarmine. He was number 29 in RPI, and I was like, all right, let's go for real, And he did a dump on me, and I was like, I don't even think I saw that coming. I mean, I literally didn't see it. He's like, I was like on the ground, and I was like, okay, I'll do some of my jiu-jitsu on you, and I got him in a lot of armbarred him from a lot of positions, but I've been very active in that. I'm trying to not, over taste because I've also got ascots coming up, so that's where I have to taste a lot.
That sounds important.
What's that?
Well, all I gotta.
Go ahead.
I said that sounds important.
It's very important. It's like my whole company. So, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say the only way you could kind of put the kibosh to the rye versus more bourbony tasting rye is if you throw this into your top 100 and blind it. I mean, that's just an idea. I don't. It's, that good. I mean,
well, the truth, I don't do single barrels in there, so I could do a barrel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There it is. All right. Okay. All right.
Hey, Fred.
Yes.
So just going back to this tasting.
Yeah.
And I'm at the end of this glass. I think the difference for me after because our pick it started tasting really. It grew on me. This nose on this Club Marzipan is really good. I don't know if anybody else is the nose on this almost empty glass is. This is one of the better noses that I can remember for a while. Not that, like, I mean, I'm not going to remember every nosing that I have for these reviews and stuff like that, but this is great.
So Zach, I mean, I'll kind of lead into it, but me and Zach did a single barrel pick for Tamworth Distillery up in New Hampshire here. Really big up and coming. They have Steve Grass from Hendrick's Gin as like one of their like co-founders.
I have their very first bottle.
Yeah,
their very first
the
batch.
Old Man on the Mountain.
Let me grab it. This is
but Zach, you're getting this hay note.
Got into bourbon.
You're getting this hay note on it, right, Zach?
No.
No, you're not. Not like.
No.
All right, fine.
It's nothing like hay.
Shoot myself in the foot then. But I feel like I am.
My bad.
I just
different brand. Different brand. My bad.
No,
I'm getting those are like Texas guys.
I'm just the nose. I wanted to get back to the, like Fred mentioned earlier, the nose later on, and like I think that was my swaying point between the two bottles. Was this just the nose is like, for me right now it's delicious.
Look, ain't gonna lie, I'm out of mine right now. So
you're out of it or mad at it?
No, I'm out of it.
Oh,
you got to nose the empty glass.
Yeah,
we love
I got a
empty
drop
glass.
left, and I'm just sipping on y'all's right now, and it is very good. But we got this tiebreaker situation. I mean, should we have like, and we did not set this up. We should not set this up. We did not set this up. This was not, choreographed or anything. Which everyone would be like, well, it's bullshit. They all fucking set it up. If everyone wants to get a taste of these, like, hit us up or get, go to the links in the description and just put in the comments which one you thought was better, because it's not made, and I'm not going to be one of those guys like, well, it's my channel, so therefore it's my barrel. I'm not. That's not my style. So, I don't play that. So if anyone,
these are,
I really was hoping people
different.
were tasting with us. Yeah, they are so different.
It's wild. Like it's crazy.
People should buy both and try both. And I will say, just in good words for Dad's Hat, I don't really think you can go wrong if you buy really any Dad's Hat. The stuff that's
but
sitting on
Albert,
the
you
shelf.
bought all of your barrels, so how is anyone going to get any bottles? Real question.
Well, if Sealbox does sell out, you could hit me up. I might have one or two left. I don't know how many I could part with though.
All right, well, let's take some questions from the chat. Let's sideline the bourbon taste off here, or the rye whiskey taste off with Dad's Hat, and let's get to some questions. Tim Harper's like, only one can win. Pick a winner. Damn.
I know this isn't soccer, right?
Come on, Tim.
Well, I think Tim needs to buy both barrels or both bottles.
Oh, believe me, Tim probably has, actually.
So
Tim, I tell you what, if anybody has both of the barrels, put it in the chat what your favorite is, and we're going to go with the honor system. Remember, karma's got you here if you lie, and you got to go to confession if you're Catholic, which you're probably not going to if you're just that willy-nilly in a chat lying about what your favorite was.
I have a serious idea too,
okay.
because like if we're gonna
oh boy
have a tie, which ties suck. I agree. I agree. Sometime in the future, let's hit up a distillery again and pick two barrels and have a face-off. Like, it doesn't have to be now or this summer, but like, let's have a face-off again and let's see who picks a better barrel.
Done. But at the same time, we still want to, for the purposes of Dad's Hat, like we can make this an annual thing. And tonight is, by the way, a fundraiser. We are trying to raise a little money for Forgotten Not
Yes.
Gone. So if you all could donate whatever you can in the chat, that money goes directly to Forgotten Not Gone, which that's a charity that helps combat veterans and get out of PTSD and get into the streets on a bike, get out there doing stuff, not just being their diagnosis of being war-ridden and what have you. And everyone knows, like, I'm a combat vet, recovered from that shit, and I wish they were around when I was going through my stuff, because I would have loved to have that.
How do people donate?
So it should be in the chat. Let me pull it up.
I'm only seeing what we see here, but
Oh, you're only seeing what you see on the
if they can see it on YouTube, then
yeah.
perfect.
Can you all see it on YouTube? I'm gonna pull up our
weird.
YouTube here.
Mine's a weird setup. I only see Fred's forehead and just me.
By the way, what do you think of my
We
forehead?
all see the same thing, Googs, on our end.
Do you? It's great.
We all see the
Don't
yeah.
change
We all
it.
see the same thing.
How good is my forehead? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's nice. It's just the right
you take
percentage
care of
of
that thing.
skin to hair ratio.
Oh yeah, it
I
says people are donating. So yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I wouldn't put
can
your
see-
forehead on
see the chat.
OnlyFans. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Hey, that might be new category.
So this question comes in from Sean Dent. What are your thoughts on Found North 18 year? Have you had that yet?
We haven't. I just got a single barrel though.
Zach, you haven't had that from East Ave?
No. We might actually have that bottle soon. We just don't have it right now.
Didn't they just get it in?
You have an older
Didn't he
back.
post about that?
We were supposed to pick one of those up from the other day, but we didn't get over there.
So that's a pretty good brand. They've been doing good stuff, but I don't know. Is that Canadian whiskey? That's 18-year-old.
Is it?
I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I know more of what Albert has.
It's
than he
Canadian, but bottled here, right?
That's common. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's common.
But I think that's what it.
Kind of like what Whistle Pig was doing for a while.
Still doing. Yeah.
Still doing.
I have an 18-year-old, but it's a couple years old. It's not the new one that just came out.
It's not the new one. We'll taste it. Tell us what you think.
I had it with him. It was awesome.
Zach's had it. I got this brand new single barrel too. That's not even open.
Oh,
Give
my.
us those notes, is it Albert.
Give it to us, Albert. Come on,
What?
let's do it.
Why
Come on,
don't
what do you
open
knows
your-
it, bud?
So
Drink your whiskey,
this
bro.
is a blend of 21-year corn, 20-year corn, 15-year corn, and 8-year wheat.
Okay. I'm trying to find the donation thingy. So
So Albert's got to entertain us.
yeah, you got to.
Wait, Vinny.
He's gonna go grab.
This is what Vinny is for.
Yeah,
Found it.
I'm sure my palate got
Yeah,
a lot.
I'm
after
comic
this.
relief, Fred. I'm just the big clown of the group.
Okay, so at the bottom of the chat, right below the actual chat, there's a donate now button that says prevent veteran suicide. You can click that button and donate, and it goes straight to the charity. All right.
Albert,
that's a great thing.
I think if you click actually what's on our Instagram story, if that link, I think that will take you to a donation. Yeah, it does. It pops up right below it. It says
Cool.
220 total raised.
It's good, Heisey.
You should sip it.
No. I'm saying the door is good.
Vinny just grabbed a little bite. What you eating, buddy?
I wanted to try a little Swedish fish with our barrel pick and see how it was.
Like the Like the gummy worm things?
Yeah, like the red licorice Swedish fish.
That's
It's also just sitting in front of me, and I need to eat something.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, he wants to bump up from 185 to 205.
There is no 205 weight class.
Whatever.
197.
210. What's next, Vinny?
Are you
Send
talking
him back to high
jiu-jitsu? Are you
school.
talking jiu-jitsu or are you talking wrestling?
He doesn't know
I don't
what
know
he's
the
talking
difference.
He's going to join the Bald and Fat Classic down in New York.
Mm.
about. No, I'm not. No, I'm retired.
Have you all seen the video of the guy who lost a fantasy football league and he had to go wrestle in a tournament?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Mike,
amazing.
there is no worse punishment.
He held his own though.
He fought hard. I don't know. I don't think he fought that hard in the fantasy league.
Did he have any background?
No. He was not a wrestler. He didn't even know how to line up on the mat.
No, he didn't. But I think that says something about the guy trying to take him down because he didn't do a very good job trying to take him down.
When you go to some of those open off-season tournaments, you can run into some legit studs and you can run into some legit duds as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, fellas, it's been a lot of fun. What's your final thoughts on tonight?
This
This was great.
It was
I had a
awesome.
blast.
I want to
Honestly,
do this
my-
once a week.
Well, we already do, Vinny.
Fred, you're cooler than I thought you would be in person.
Well, we're technically on a virtual here, but I'm not in person, so I'm even
He's
cooler.
He's taller than I thought he would be too.
Yeah, that's true.
This is post-COVID. This is as personal as it can get. So.
It does feel a little like COVID. But I'll say, I do look forward to hanging out with you guys one day. Like, if you all can make the trek up to Cornell in June when my boys got his wrestling camp there, I'd love to.
Okay.
I'd love to take over a bar and let's just invite some people out and have a good time.
Or should we go to Finger Lakes Distilling?
Is that close?
Mackenzie. Yeah, I believe that it's somewhat
kind
close.
of.
What's the look?
I thought
When in
Finger
June?
Lakes was closer to Manhattan.
No.
No.
Watkins Glen.
Cornell's on the Finger Lakes.
Closer, huh? Okay. Well, that's good
I'll
to
look it
know.
up.
Like, I love that. I love that spot. Actually, I love their whiskey. When McKinsey used to distill their whiskey, he used to send me his wheated bourbon, and I was like, "Dude, you got something special." But Thomas McKinsey left there. I don't know what happened, but they make good whiskey.
Well, they used the Old Elk would source from them. In Pursuit. And
Oh
I
yeah, a
think
lot of people source from them. Yeah,
Starlight too.
yeah, that's how they
some of the big
That's how they
names.
keep in business.
Yeah,
It's a big.
That was
cool though.
That was our very first barrel pick was at Mackenzie.
Tim says I'm coolest with an ascot, which if I'm in New York in the summer, probably not gonna be. I might wear an ascot, but if I'm coming off the mats, I'm gonna be on the Cornell mats, and I'm gonna be trying to wrestle with somebody. I'm gonna be like, hey,
I'll
you
wear-
mind if
Crazy.
I'll
I
wear
wanna
a
see what-
singlet up there.
Look how loud.
I'm more of like rash guard. The singlet just doesn't look the same. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm way older than you guys, and so the singlet was like a burlap sack. Y'all got all the nice velvet stuff. So.
Fred, we're like a boy band, and I'm like Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
So I'm like the host of the group, and the
you're not
good-looking
good-looking.
one.
Okay.
No, I'm the good-looking one. Maybe I'm not the most whiskey knowledgeable one. That's why I host. So we'd love to have you on our podcast too at some point.
Love to, yeah. Yeah, I just feel like you guys randomly do lives. Is that the podcast, or do y'all have a more scheduled formal one?
Podcast. Scheduled, formal, professional, but unprofessional at the same time when you throw Vinny in there.
I'm in there. Look, you all were talking shit on Vinny. He's been nothing but a gentleman, other than his like ball sack comment.
Wait.
So, funny story. You've got something in common with Vinny you may not know about. On the way to Albert's, right when I dropped off and drove over here, I was listening to the most recent Bourbon Pursuit podcast, and you proposed with a hot dog.
I did.
Vinny loves hot dogs.
Really?
I sure do. I just did the 999 challenge.
That's so
Big
like,
wiener guy.
Like you want to be like a hot dog professional eater?
No, I just like eating hot dogs.
Okay. Yeah, so we were in Las Vegas at Nathan's Hot Dog in a little food court in MGM, and that was the moment that I knew I wanted to marry my wife. And I was like, I should propose to a hot dog with her, And looking back, it was kind of stupid, but she digs it to this day,
I wish I would have thought of that.
Are you married?
I'm married.
Okay.
Somehow.
Believe it or not.
Ask his wife if they are.
Yeah.
And even he didn't do a hot dog proposal.
How did you propose to your wife?
I proposed to my wife we were in Aruba, and we were at a restaurant called the Flying Fishbone, which is like right on the water.
Ooh.
Did you get down on one knee?
Of course I did. And then I wiped the sand off when I was done because it was making my sensitive skin start to break out.
Okay.
Hey,
anyone else
I
married
just want
other than Albert?
I think all
yes,
of us
we all are.
You're all married. Okay. Y'all
That's why
we
we
just
drink.
What's Tim? Tim says the guy with the cap on backwards is a Justin Timberlake. There's 3 of us that have hats on backwards. 4 of us. I don't get it. So Heise's
I'm
definitely
JT.
out.
It doesn't. I'm Justin. It doesn't matter.
I think
I'm
he's referencing Zach. Zach beat you all to the cool kid punch, is what he's basically saying.
I disagree, but whatever.
No, you are Zach. He's saying that you are the cool kid.
No,
Tim
I'm not
is saying-
Zach.
Yeah.
No, Zach. I'm talking to Zach.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not talking to Goose.
Yeah.
I'm saying like Zach, per Tim Harper, is the cool kid of the backwards hat gang.
Yes.
Gotcha.
On that note, I should probably end the live stream because we're gonna start making an ass of ourselves here very soon. To which people
This is how they go.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. Y'all stay put. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. We had a few hundred tune in tonight, so awesome as always. Be safe out there. And how can everyone find Only Bourbon Fans there, Albert? Tell them, where should they go?
The best way to find us is on Instagram, Only Bourbon Fans, at Only Bourbon Fans. We do have a Twitter at Only Bourbon Fans as well. And
I think it's
we
called
have
X now.
Yeah, it's always Twitter, forever. Also known as X. And we do have a website, too. That is theonlybourbonfans.com.
And you can find Vinny's feet pics on
Finder.
OnlyFans. So
No, Feet Finder.
Feet Finder. Okay.
Feet Finder.
Craigslist.
Are your toe hairs red too?
I don't grow body hair except on my face and my head.
Okay. On that note, everybody.
All right, you gotta end
Bullshit.
this live stream.
Cheers.
Mine are.
Cheers.